Okay, good day, guys. Good day to you all. Welcome back to the Formula Sports channel. Welcome back. Thanks for being here. Big up to everybody in the comment section. Gentle reminder for those currently on and also those who will be watching on the rewatch. Smash up like button. Subscribe to the channel. Seen, and also share the video as well and share the live as well for those who are currently on the live stream. Free and easy ways, of course, to support the channel. What should I say? Anchor. What's the word I'm looking for? Not, you don't usually see lives from me. Seeing, so it is not the word eludes me right now. The word I'm looking for. So you know a rare live from the Formula Sports channel. Normally, these days are only the lives mostly when it's either a preview or a review for a game or a watch along for a Reggae Boyz game. See, but I want to do more lives. I have issues with lives, technical issues, but I'm thinking of technical issues that are kind of very hard to solve. But I'm thinking about doing more lives going forward. Seeing, all right, so you guys see the topics on screen. Leon Bailey to Ajax, good move, question mark. So Leon Bailey to Ajax, question mark, and then comma, good move, question mark. Plus, we're also talking about JFF reform. Seeing, I think it was Mannings who broke the story initially as to the particulars of JFF reform that is currently being undertaken. And then the Observer had an article today that touched on it as well. Seemed as if there was some sort of official announcement, so to speak, from the Jamaica Football Federation, where reforming from a constitutional standpoint is concerned. Let me check out some of the comments quick and fast before we touch into the meat of the matter. Aston Villa FC, you must have to be here, man. You must have to be here for this live. What's happening, man? Big up, big up. Overrated? What do you mean by barely overrated? Aston Villa, don't make Aston Villa FC, don't make me run here for a live stream in Aston Villa FC. Rating Aston Villa FC, but you're violating my boss. Overrated, all right. Overrated does not mean he isn't rated. It means nothing is a given in the Premier League football. He hasn't done anything amazing consistently to secure a starting 11. But to be fair, though, Aston Villa FC, is all of this his fault? He really hasn't had a chance in the Premier League, to be fair to the player. Right? To be fair to the player, he hasn't really had a chance, and we'll delve into that more going forward. Seeing, Aston Villa FC says, but yes, Mr. Butler will push for this move, and I don't blame him. Villa are on the rise at all. We are back to square one, relegation. We had one good season in 2020 and got all these good players. Yeah, these players were sold on a I wouldn't say a dream, but they were shown a plan and it made sense to them. To be fair to them, they made some strategic sales as well. By the way, a long time when I run the music during a live, All right. So yeah, as I was saying, they were shown a plan, so to speak, and it made sense to them. And to be fair, they, relatively speaking, they did some decent scouting. right? They did some decent scouting. Made some, I wouldn't go as far as saying some shrewd transfers. I think they could have done better in the transfer market, but they didn't. They made some pretty decent transfers. So it's understandable. And I think, and Aston Villa FC, I said this already, and probably, I don't know, I'm curious to know what you as a Villa fan think, right? I think that a lot of people were deceived by that particular season, I think a lot of people were deceived. I think Jack Grealish had a major role to play in why Aston Villa did relatively well that season. We saw when he got injured, Aston Villa started to slide. Seen? Alright, let's get back to more comments. Aston Villa again. No, we are very poor. Gerrard now successful, has a worse manager record than Dean Smith and our previous 3 managers. Yeah, it not looking good for Stephen G at all. Marcus Mosiah Garvey, up my G. Marcus Mosiah Garvey, what's happening, man? Big up, bro. Big up. Division. Yo, from me go call my name, from me go talk my name in a press conference, man. From me go talk my name in a press conference. I am not the only Omar on YouTube. Leon Bailey ain't going anywhere. Ajax got their replacement for Anthony already. He got the... Who they got? Hold on there. What? I never know this. This is news to me. Hold on there. Who is the replacement, Eddie? Talk it in the comment section. Who is the replacement? Who is the replacement? I did not. This one slipped me. Hit me up in the comment section. So I don't see nothing from Eddie. Oh, Eddie takes so long for make me know what going on. Let's see what Google is saying. Let us see what Google is saying. But I don't see nothing from Google, Eddie. You sure? Hit me up in the comment section and let me know who is the Anthony replacement. Seen? But in the meantime, alright. So, for starters, we're just giving you guys a quick little roundup of what took place today. From a Reggae Boyz standpoint. Alright. So Hacken, however you pronounce it, in the Swedish league, they would have played a game in the Swedish Cup today. Or they're set to sign a compass. What? So I never see this. Interesting. Hold on. I never see this. That one I miss me star. Oh yeah, you're right. It broke a couple of hours ago for true. Yeah. And that's a shame, because I was a little bit excited about Bailey to Ajax, That one I miss me star, Jaja. Anyways, we still have other important matters to discuss. And we can touch on why Bailey to Ajax would have been a good move. In hindsight, so to speak. Alright, so Hacken, that's the club of Blair Turgott. Right? Blair Turgott would have played today and Blair Turgott would have scored for Hacken in Sweden in the Swedish Cup. A 2-1 victory over a club by the name of Almholtz IF. Right? So Hacken won 2-1, and Blair Turgot was on the score sheet. So congratulations to Turgot. If I'm not mistaken, Haken are still atop the Swedish league. Hold on, let me check that quick and fast. Because Haken has been flying, with Blair Turgot, Hold on, let us just confirm if they're still atop this. Yeah. Blair Turgot and Haken are still atop the Swedish First Division. Right, so that's a good look for a Reggae Boy. So a Reggae Boy involved in a heated title race in a European top division and a respectable league as well, that of Sweden. So they would have made progress in the Swedish Cup today. Again, Blair Turgot on the score sheet for Haken in a 2-1 victory. Spartak Moscow, the team of Shamar Nicholson, Reggae Boy Shamar Nicholson and Boza. Yeah, man, Rob Smith, we know, man. We know, man. We soon get to that, man. So yeah, as I was saying, Shamar Nicholson for Spartak Moscow. Spartak Moscow would have played today, a game in the Russian Cup. And Shamar Nicholson is nowhere to be found. Right? I didn't see him in the starting lineup, and I didn't see him on the bench. So what is taking place with our baller there in Russia? I have a theory, I think we should talk about that. I should probably do a live on that as well, Right, and you guys know that he has been heavily linked to especially Galatasaray in Turkey. I was kind of split on whether he should move or he should go. There's still time in the transfer window to make something happen. So let's see what happens. I don't know if I don't know if me that all that feel away though if he stays in Moscow. Right? Either way, whether he stayed or whether he left, right? It wouldn't move me either way. Yeah, and I wonder why. Is it because it can be because there's an impending move? Could it be? Is it because they want to keep him and serious moves are being made behind the scene, or is it because him just not good enough for the bench right now? Which would kind of be very shocking. Seeing? So, I don't know. So let's see who else was in action today in terms of from a Reggae Boy standpoint. Oh yeah, and by the way, Spartak would have won the game 1-0. It's a team by the name of, I can't pronounce the first name there. The last name, Sovetov. I think that's the best I can do. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this team currently plays in the top flight in Russia as well. So, they would have squeezed out a 1-0 victory to advance in the cup. Alright, what other Reggae Boys? Fulham would have played today, a big victory over Brighton and Hove Albion. Alexander Mitrovic, one of the goal scorers in this particular game. He has been very good, right? And he has been getting goals for Fulham in the top flight. So, I think Mitrovic is a proper centre forward, I think that he has been in some unfair circumstances and reasonable circumstances, some circumstances that probably aren't in the best interest of a forward or would not have put him in the position to really thrive as a centre forward, certainly in his time in the English Premier League. But Fulham are back and they're doing some damage. Mitrovic is scoring. Bobby Reid continues to start for Fulham. He's not only playing, he's starting, right? Which is a good thing. I haven't watched this match as yet. I will watch it, a little later on for sure. You guys know my thing already. We don't really watch some football live still. So we watch a lot of football. I don't want to say rebroadcast, but we watch a lot of football not live. So we'll be sure to check out that game and see how Bobby De Cordova-Reid would have gone about. I will say this much though, his rating in the game isn't high. His rating in this particular game is a 5.1. I don't know. Those of you who watched the game, hit me in the comment section and let me know. Did Bobby De Cordova-Reid play well? I will find out either later on tonight for myself or tomorrow. But did Bobby De Cordova-Reid play well? Hit me in the comment section and let me know. His rating is kind of very low, 5.1 in the game. Although to be fair, I don't really trust statistical sites still because they don't factor in the eye test or the run of play when they are grading players' performances. It's just, they just mainly go off of the stats, and sometimes the stats alone can be misleading. Really? Duncan McKenzie? What? I've been checking up on Graphica, but I haven't seen like he has been playing. And you see the thing about it is to find Holland, to find stats for the Serbian second division league. To be fair, it is sometimes difficult to even find the starting lineup or who is playing for these respective clubs. Hold on, let me see if I can confirm that. Because I checked up on the first couple of games of him in the Serbian second division, and he made the bench probably once or two. No, to be fair, he was making the bench quite a number of times. But he wasn't he wasn't playing. He wasn't making any appearances off the bench. That would be interesting. Hold on. Let me see if I can get confirmation on that. We as vloggers can't see everything, There are some things that will miss us, Hold on. Let us see if we can get confirmation on that. Jaja. Hold on. Let me type it in as well. I can find. Hopefully I can find something that would confirm that this is indeed true. Oh, Manning's posted a video. Lie. So that one that, things are missing, so hold on there. Make us see if we can confirm that. I am sure sports. That would be very good if he did it. What? Lie not tell. Hold on there. We'll watch it right now, people. What? I'm blow goal the youth scored to, What? What you not say to me? I'm blow goal the youth scored, man. Rob Smith, thanks for that bit of information. We appreciate when fans of the Jamaican football sphere keep vloggers informed. So I really appreciate that. I wonder if my fear sets up on my show the goal. Hold on there. I gotta see if I can. Hold on there. Because I gotta try and see if I can show that goal in. Because I don't think it would be that big of a problem. Hold on there. Alright, we're gonna share the goal quick and fast with you guys. Hold on. Before we go any further. And by the way, this is courtesy of Manning's Man from I Am Sure Sports. Hold on. Click this quick and fast. Alright, let us press play so you guys, if you haven't seen the goal, you guys can see it. Boom. Wicked, man. Wicked. Wicked. Wicked, wicked, wicked. Big up to Duncan McKenzie. Big up to Duncan McKenzie. So what does that mean for Duncan McKenzie? Will we see more of him getting minutes? I certainly hope so. I think that is a big up Manning's Man for informing the people where that is concerned though. I think that is a big move for his career, scoring that goal. When you score goals, especially as a midfielder, I'm curious to know whether he started in this game. I'm gonna do some research and see whether Duncan started in this game. I'm thinking of doing a Reggae Boyz transfer show. More than likely, I will do that. So, I will talk about the move of Duncan McKenzie to Graphica in more detail and what I think of the move. But I'm thinking of doing a Reggae Boyz transfer show. More than likely, we'll get that done. So, I rather like the move to Serbia. For those of you who don't know, Reggae Boy U20 player Duncan McKenzie, currently at Graphica Beograd in the Serbian second division. You know, a club that many of us would be familiar with because my boss, the Norman Campbell, previously played for this same club. So it's a club that in recent times have been familiar with Jamaicans and they clearly liked how the Norman Campbell, situation worked out. He didn't stay there long. He got a move to one of the biggest clubs in Serbia after a couple of months. So clearly they are looking to, they see Jamaica as an option, to support their desire, so to speak, to be a proper selling club in Serbia or a feeder club to bigger clubs in Serbia. So, but yeah, this is a huge step for Duncan scoring in this game. Hopefully, this will serve as will propel him to get more minutes in the Serbian second division. And he's 18 years old. So, that's a good look at this age to be getting meaningful game time and making use of said game time by putting the ball in the back of the net this early in his pro career. If he ain't making the bench after last season, it's time to move on. Don't rate you. Oh, we're talking about Shamar Nicholson. I've missed some of the comment section. All right, me could go back to giving you guys a quick roundup of what Reggae Boyz did today as well. Who else was on show today? All right, so Luton Town squeezed out a 2-1 victory over Cardiff City, and Amari Bell would have featured. He's basically a staple in that Luton Town team. This is a big victory for Luton Town, because Luton Town has been struggling this season. Last season they had a brilliant campaign, resulted in them almost qualifying for the Premier League, but they fell short. It would have been a shocking promotion to the Premier League. You know, so Bell started today on a well-needed, well-needed victory for Luton Town, right? And this victory kind of, you know, propels them up the table to 9th, right? If memory serves right, they had a kind of sluggish start to the campaign last season as well. So good to see Luton Town, you know, starting to win football games. So 2-1 victory over Cardiff City there. Who else was on show today? Wigan with 2 Reggae Boyz would have played today as well. Curtis Still would have started in Wigan's usual back 3, right? And yeah, so he played. I don't see Cousins. I don't see Cousins in the starting lineup, and I don't see Cousins on the bench either. So I'm wondering if Cousins is injured. Hit me in the comment section and let me know if you guys know what is taking place with Cousins. Cousins is another one that suffers from a lot of injuries, you know. He's another one as well, you know. I think we have a injury problem, you know. I think we have an injury crisis issue with Reggae Boyz, you know. We have a lot of Reggae Boyz, too much for my liking, with injury-prone reputations. All right. Reading would have played today. By the way, did I tell you the score with Wigan? Wigan drew with West Brom 1-1, and this is in the English League Championship. Sheffield United thumped Reading 4-0 today. My boss there did not play, and he didn't make the bench either. But we have we have 3 Reggae Boyz at Reading. Connor Boyce Clark has yet to feature for the senior team. I don't see my boss there on the bench, Jamari Clark. He didn't feature. And I don't see him on the bench either. Right? Is he still at Reading? I need to check up on what's taking place with Jamari Clark. You know. Have they loaned him out? Is he still at Reading? And I don't see my boss there either. My boss the name again, man. Big Reggae Boy, man, centre back. Liam Moore. I forget the name of my big Reggae Boy centre back. If I'm not mistaken, he's still injured. And you know, we know that he had a falling out to the club as well. When he returns from injury, it will be interesting to see what happens with him. I think that's it for Reggae Boyz in the championship from what I'm seeing here. Oh, by the way, I forget to touch on Crystal Palace Brentford as well, you know. Brentford and Crystal Palace drew 1-1 as well. And you know, obviously our big centre back, a player I have a lot of time for. Liam Moore went to Stoke City on loan, Jason Guna. It wasn't a permanent. It wasn't a permanent move. He had a falling out to the club. He lost his captaincy and they sent him to Stoke City. So yeah, back to the Prem. Forgot to touch on this game. Crystal Palace 1-1 with Brentford. So yeah, Brentford picking up good points here. Where was this game played? Was this game played at Sellers Park? Or was it played at the Brentford Community Stadium? If it was played at the Brentford Community Stadium, they probably would have wanted our 3 points. But Crystal Palace, as we have seen, is a tough little team, man. A tough little team. Did Zaha score? There you go. You never nothing. You can guess that Zaha scored, right? Big baller, player of a lot of time for. Reggae Boy potential reggae boy, for want of a better word, Ivan Toney, played as well. So we eagerly anticipate the return of Ethan Pinnock. Peterborough played in the English League One. Oh, Sellers Park. There you go. There you go. Crystal Palace has rolled some serious leather this season, you know. Brentford ain't doing too badly either. Alright, we move to the English League One. Peterborough United facing Stevenage Borough. And surprising here, I'm not seeing Johnson Clark Harris. He wasn't in the team, he wasn't in the starting 11, and he wasn't on the bench. Is Johnson Clark Harris injured? Hit me in the comment section and let me know. He has been on fire in the English League One, but his team, Peterborough, lost to Stevenage Borough. Johnson Clark is a player I have a lot of time for. A lot of time for. Alright, Rangers over there in Scotland. You know, my boss, the Kemar Roof, yet to make a return. Kemar Roof is another player I am very concerned about, you know. There you go. I didn't even know that. How that miss me? Clark is at QPR, played one game this season, then gone back to the second time. Interesting. I didn't even know that. What? But I seen another vlogger report on Clark making a move. So it look like something we missed the whole away. I will look into that. I haven't watched a QPR game since Andre Gray would have departed QPR. I don't think we have any other reggae boys that, or do we? I don't even think we have a. Do we have a potential reggae boy at QPR apart from Clark? Interesting. All right, so we eagerly anticipate the return of Kemar Roof. Oh, second team. Okay. Yeah, I will look into this and verify what is taking place with Jamari Clark. So, you know, Scottish League Cup, Glasgow Rangers beating Queen of the South 3-1. If I'm not mistaken, Queen of the South is a Scottish second division team, right? We eagerly anticipate the return of Roof. Roof is a player that needs to arrest his injury issues problem. I think Van Bronckhorst is becoming slightly impatient with the player. I think he rates the player highly. I think he respects the player, but the injury situation is proving to be, you know, problematic to say the least for Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. And Van Bronckhorst is a no-nonsense manager either, right? I don't know how long he will put up with the player at Rangers. All right, we're talking about the English Football League trophy. I think that was the trophy that Wes Harding won last season. Remember that? Ipswich Town would have played Northampton Town, and guess who started in this game? I haven't watched Ipswich Town from the start of the season because Greg Lay has not started, or has not. I don't think he has even played for Ipswich Town since the start of the season. But we see here, Greg Lay started for Ipswich Town and even scored for Ipswich Town in a 6-0 thrashing of Northampton in the English League Trophy. Will this propel Greg Lay into the starting 11 for Ipswich Town? Let's see. Potential reggae boy would have also featured in the Premier League as well. Everton versus Leeds, 1-1 draw. Demarai Gray, you know, top player of a lot of time for, a lot of respect for. Leeds currently doing well this particular campaign. Everton, not so much. They aren't doing. They're doing. Would you say Everton is doing okay? I don't know. I think Demarai Gray would do very well at a different club, right? And I really want to see Demarai Gray turn out for the Reggae Boyz. Is a player that I have a lot of time for. And this is a very good point, Rob Smith, and something that I forgot to mention. So I'm very happy that you have reminded me about this. We have a lot of Reggae Boyz right now currently who are not starting. And this is a bit concerning to me. We have a lot of them who are not starting, or who are certainly not starting on a regular basis, probably not even getting game time. So this is a bit concerning to me. We'll continue to monitor this particular scenario. Okay. So fixtures or Reggae Boyz to look forward to for tomorrow is MacArthur FC plays tomorrow at 4:30 a.m. So if you're interested in seeing MacArthur with Reggae Boy Adrian Mariappa, you can check them out at 4:30 a.m. This is in the Australian Cup against Wellington Phoenix, which, if I'm not mistaken, is also a top-tier team in Australia. So we wish Reggae Boy Maps and his team MacArthur all the best. Don't quote me on this, but if I'm not mistaken, if you can't catch this game at 4:30 a.m. because it's too early, if I'm not mistaken, you will be able to see this particular game on YouTube. Seen? If I'm not mistaken. So it's a cup game. So if I'm not mistaken, you'll be able to see it on YouTube. So you guys can look out for that. FK Shkopi, I think is how you pronounce it, is in action in the Macedonian League as well. And we all know Reggae Boy. Well, can you call him a Reggae Boy? I don't think he has played for as CFAS represented the Reggae Boyz as yet. Not to my knowledge, but his team will be in action over there in the Macedonian League. CFAS scored a big goal against Dynamo Zagreb in the Champions League qualifiers. It was a very good goal, by the way. A very good combination of pace, power, and skill to lob the keeper. To get to the ball first and to lob the keeper. So that was a big goal for him and a big moment for CFAS over there in Macedonia. It was a big goal against a big football club, Dynamo Zagreb, Croatian champions. I mean, they're like the Bayern Munich of Croatia. And they qualify for the Champions League, because I watched the draw. I watched the Champions League draw. Zagreb is in the actual Champions League. That means they would have knocked out Skopje on their way to the group stages. So, I don't think he started the last game, though, if memory serves me right. CFAS. Also in the Serbian Superliga, or the PRVA League, I think is what they call it. In the Superliga. Javor Ivan Jika will be featuring tomorrow as well. 9:30 a.m. Jamaica time is what I'm seeing here, early in the morning. And of course, that team has Reggae Boy Norman Campbell, who we'll talk about his transfer in the transfer show, but he has been doing relatively well at his new club in Serbia, and has scored a couple of goals so far, including a rocket from just outside the box in the Serbian Superliga. His first 2 goals in the Serbian league, and he has been starting ever since he scored he made 3 substitute appearances, then started in his 4th game and scored, and ever since that he has been starting, except for 1 or 2 games where, if I'm not mistaken, he had some injury concerns because he was substituted early in the game that he scored his 2nd goal. He was substituted early. If memory serves me right, he picked up a bit of a knock, right, in that particular game. If memory serves me right, he was substituted early. Yeah, one of the games that he scored in, he was substituted early. So yeah, Aston Villa, big. By the way, this is a big game. Let's see if Leon Bailey starts tomorrow for Aston Villa. Bournemouth plays tomorrow. So by the way, Aston Villa plays Arsenal. They an Arsenal team that is performing very well. Not only are they atop the Premier League, but they have been playing some delightful football, right? I mean, their performance against Crystal Palace was really exceptional, man. Jesus, Odegaard, Zinchenko, they have been playing very well. The centre back that was on loan at Marseille as well. What name again? French centre back, man, Saliba. I mean, the whole team has been playing well for the most part. So that's a tough game for Arsenal. Tough game for Steven Gerrard. Steven Gerrard is under a lot of pressure over there right now in Birmingham, right? Fans aren't too pleased with Gerrard. Right? He's a manager that doesn't really seem to know what he's doing right now, to be honest with you. So let's see if Villa can turn things around. Let's see if Arsenal continues their winning streak. And most importantly, let's see if Leon Bailey starts. West Ham versus Tottenham. Reggae Boy, Mikel Antonio. The team of Reggae Boy, Mikel Antonio. Tottenham, a tough team, man. Tough team. Let's see how that goes for both West Ham and Mikel. Bournemouth, hopefully we can even see Jamal Lowe make the bench, right? I'll talk about Jamal. Jamal Lowe needs to no. Should he stay or should he move? If he does get a move, it will be back down to the Championship. Bournemouth, by the way, have fired Scott Parker. I was one of those saying to myself that he probably should get a move before the transfer window ends to get some minutes in the Championship. But new manager, Bournemouth heading in a different direction. Will a new manager, look at his players and decide, hey, you know what? Let me give Jamal Lowe a chance. I don't think he has even made the bench so far this season. So let's see what takes place with Jamal Lowe. All right. Coming up in the Championship as well tomorrow, in the English League Championship, Huddersfield plays Bristol City. Huddersfield with Reggae Boy Rolando Aarons. Coventry and the Preston North End plays each other as well. Coventry with Reggae Boy Casey Palmer. He shockingly hasn't featured much this season either. And also Daniel Johnson. Stoke City take on Swansea City. Swansea City with Reggae Boy Joel Latipo-Dear. Rotherham take on Sunderland. Rotherham with Reggae Boy. Wes Harding, a player that I think is very much underrated. Toulouse take on Paris Saint-Germain. Toulouse with Reggae Boy Junior Flemings. I don't think we'll see Junior Flemings featured tomorrow, but hopefully he even can make the bench. Blackpool take on Blackburn as well in the Championship. 2 p.m. kickoff. Kevin Stewart hasn't been featuring much for Blackpool. Let's see if is he injured? He's another one that always that always. Yes, that's true, Yes, the last game. I think it was the last game, Red Crossing. That's true. That's true. How am I forget that? How am I forget that? That's true, I think it was the last game. No, it wasn't. No. The last game was the 9-0 thumping. The game before that, I think he made the bench and got some minutes. Thanks for that, Red Crossing. That's true. That's true. So Blackpool, hopefully Kevin Stewart can get a run out tomorrow. Hopefully he's back from injury. Dr. Glass. Hopefully he's back from injury and we can see him tomorrow. I don't know. Let's see. Philadelphia takes on Atlanta. And, some games as well coming up. And that's obviously the MLS and a number of other games as well in the MLS. Philadelphia. So that's Reggae Boyz. Corey Burke and Andre Blake. Corey Burke, good run of form in recent times, so you guys can look out for that. And Inter Miami as well plays Columbus Crew tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. New York City takes on Reggae Boy Ravel Morrison DC United. Phoenix Rising also plays tomorrow as well, and that has Reggae Boy. Where they see them down as Rising name again, man. Where they see them where you used to play for Arnett, man. Arnett, my boy, used to play for him name again, man. Oh God, this sound bad. I forget the Reggae Boy name, Jaja. Anyways, you guys know who I'm talking. See them at Phoenix Rising. No disrespect to him, but for some reason, his name has slipped me right now. Okay, so that's basically a roundup of Reggae Boys that have featured and Reggae Boys that will feature to come tomorrow. I've been ignoring the comment section for some time. Let me get back to the comments. Cousins is injured, Jamie Ricketts say. Yeah. Or the game was played at Sellers Park. Palace gave the game away with one lapse and Zaha scored a beauty. Yeah, man, Zaha is a proper player, Proper player. Cousins and Stewart is injured. Look like Anthony Grant will get the call up for the Argentina game. Laugh out loud. Let's see. I don't see anything taking place with Anthony Grant either. What's taking place with Grant? You need to take a look at that, And it's a real shit. Yo, we have a lack of quality at the CDM position. And the two best CDMs that we have available to us are really injury prone. But don't tell you already, Kevin Stewart, I doubt Kevin Stewart will play 10 games for the Reggae Boys, unless him do something serious for change of injury issues concerns. I doubt we'll see Kevin Stewart rep Jamaica 10 times in his career. His injury issues are so bad, he is not a player that we can rely on. I think we need to forget about Kevin Stewart and move on. Very talented player, but boy, it don't matter how good the player is if he can't play, don't make no sense. Jason Guna, he's better, not really a big fan of a lot of energy, but don't really seem to have a plan when he has the ball. Rob Smith. I don't know if I agree with that. By the way, guys, knock up the like button. Hit the like button and help to Kevin Lambert, Jesus Delroy Wilson. Thanks for that, Kevin Lambert, a player that I have time for as a centre back in the national team, but I don't have time for him as a CDM in our national team. Kevin Lambert, yes, Kevin Lambert. Yeah, I think that's unfair to him though, Rob Smith. Right? Lay is a decent player. Don't have plans with the ball. I don't ever agree with that. Comparing playing time, Bell should be ahead of Lay. started out 7 league games compared to Lee starting one of 6 league games in a lower division. And I agree. I've been saying this for a long time. Amari Bell is the best left back we have. No doubt about that. I agree 100. I agree 1000%. Cousins and Stewart. Oh, I read that one already. Yeah, man. Amari Bell is a proper left back or left wing back. I don't understand how some Reggae Boyz fans don't rate it. 2 more Reggae Boyz out of favor, Loan Antonio. Yeah. And this is true, Red Cross. Thanks for that. Alright, so I want to share an article with you guys quick and fast. This is talking about the headline or a headline in the Jamaica Observer. You guys are seeing it on screen. Change is coming. Seeing? Taxi is playing for Minnesota United. Oh, by the way, I forget to mention Minnesota as well too, you know. Minnesota is playing tomorrow as well. They're playing a real shortly. No, lie, it's not tomorrow. It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. That game is Wednesday. Hold on. So I'm gonna see the so this hold on. Let's do the Wednesday cutoff thing for this. Either tomorrow or Wednesday. One of them. Anyways. So here's a game coming up you guys can look forward to as well. Alright, so let us talk about this particular the app that I'm using. I don't know. I'm not see them have the Wednesday thing at the top of it. Anyways. Yeah, alright. So change is coming. Right? And I think this is a very important topic that we need to talk about. Change is coming, right? I'm going to read the article for you guys. And you guys can hit me in the comment section and let me know what you think about this particular issue. My cricket's boss upon him phone, man. Yeah. My crickets, that conversation, they look like it's sweet, you know. Hold on, them. A conversation they look like it's sweet, man. I wonder who we might have to on the phone. Anyways, my cricket's married. I wonder if the wife he might talk, or is a side chick. You know them older man there. Them older man there when them have the little power in a man and the little clout in a man. Them have the wife and them have the woman on the side. You know. Whatever the conversation do, it look like it has sweet him. Alright. So the headline change is coming. It reads, the Jamaica Football Federation is preparing to amend its articles of association and its bylaws to get in line with FIFA regulations by November the 1st, 2022. Interesting stuff. The Federation has a process of electing its executive body by a process of voting that is determined by the presidents of its football associations at the parochial level. This means that all that is needed to enact change within the JFF is the majority of 13 votes, since the parishes of Kingston and St. Andrew fall under one association, CASAFA. And we all know, just how problematic this current procedure is and how much of a problem it can create for Jamaica's football. It continues to read, the fact of the matter is it's easier to corrupt 13 votes than it is to corrupt, let's say, 30 votes, right? This change was made by former JFF president, the late Captain Horace Burrell, and saw a reduction in the number of delegates from 130. This should have read and saw a huge reduction in the number of delegates from 130 to 13. That's crazy. Only 10%. That's what you would have said. That's a reduction of what, 90%. Me not so good for the maths in a people. But I mean, this is, I mean, come on. To be fair, we all know why Burrell did this, right? We all know why the late Captain Horace Burrell would have done this. See, we never have to go around the thing. See, although the date of the meeting on this matter has not yet been set by JFF President Michael Ricketts, these plans have been discussed since 2020, when a FIFA official visited the island and proposed the changes. So you hear that? Mike Ricketts are going to sit down and try and take credit for this, And when his administration goes on television, or when he does an interview and tries to take credit for this, or when he's going for re-election and campaigning and say, oh, we made the constitutional changes for the betterment of Jamaica's football. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we know that is absolute rubbish. Right? The fact of the matter is nobody has power and sits down and strategizes a way to reduce that power. Nobody does that. Right? Anybody who does that is an extremely that would be a Jesus-like figure. Right? Nobody has power, because the fact of the matter is, these proposed changes, lessens Michael Ricketts' grip on power. It lessens his grip on power. And that's just fact. So nobody has power and gives power away, right? And we're seeing here that this was mandated by FIFA, right? Or at the very least, they were pressured by FIFA and see here in line with FIFA regulations by November the 1st, right? The article continues to read, Raymond Grant, who is Portland FA president and by extension a JFF director, says that the meeting will seek to ratify a number of structural changes at the JFF that are not limited to the number of delegates at its Congress. Interesting. There will also be an increase in the number of affiliates to the Jamaica football fraternity, right? And Manning's man would have broke that and would have spoken to that as well. And common sense tells us that that definitely must be the case for something like this to happen, for the number of votes to be expanded. The affiliates must be expanded. This will include more voices from the clubs playing at the national level. Once there's a vested interest in the sport and the regulation is there, we will draft. You will be accorded membership in the federation and have a voice at the Congress, said Grant, a former JFF General Secretary. Interesting. By the way, Manning's man spoke about the involvement in clubs, right? And to be honest with you, I think because Manning's man was saying that it, like for instance, the vote on the JFF presidency, it will be the top 4 clubs in the league, like 4 votes each from the top 4 clubs. Why not 4 votes each from all the clubs? Why it is just the top 4 clubs? That I don't understand. If that is true and Manning's is a very credible source, then I'm a little bit disappointed where that is concerned. One of the key principles Driving these proposals is to get more stakeholders of the sport involved in the decision making at the highest level. This would mean that in addition to the FA presidents, parish referees associations, and coaches at various levels in the local game would also become active in the democratic process, and this is obviously very, very good for Jamaica's football. And these are key stakeholders who should definitely have a say in the running and in the basically the democratic process of Jamaica's football. However, this raises questions of conflicts of interest that arise as a result of a quirk of Jamaican football, which sees individuals playing similar or various roles at different teams across the island. An example of this is where a JFF director may also be a coach of a club or a coach employed to more than one team in different competitions, especially at different levels of the game. This is interesting. On the one hand, I understand why they allow for coaches to be able to coach at multiple teams. From the standpoint of there's not a lot of, barring some coaches at the top, the top, brand name coaches, but there's not really a lot of money in coaching in Jamaica, especially relatively speaking to the rest of the world. And to allow them to have multiple jobs from that perspective will, give them more income in their pockets. On the flip side, though, is it a case where an individual could coach a JPL team and also coach a tier 2 team? That I would kind of have a problem. But if it's like from the start, in the league structure hierarchy, a coach should not be able to coach more than one club. But if it's a case where a coach is coaching business house, Premier League, schoolboy football, I don't have an issue with that per se, given the current context of Jamaica's football, but I understand the reservations of this particular writer. But Grant says that this has already been considered, although a solution has not yet been found. I doubt a solution will ever be found when it comes to conflicts of interest in Jamaica's football. We are looking over the regulations, he said. It is not yet signed off. We are aware that we will have these overlaps. It will be addressed in the document that is not yet signed off on. So I don't want to speak from an affirmative position on that matter until we have concluded those discussions. We foresee that there will be overlap and we have to put systems and measures in place to prevent that. What does this mean for if indeed the JFF decides of their own volition that they want to eradicate conflicts of interest? What would this mean for the likes of Mr. Rudolph Speed and the likes of JFF Technical Director Wendell Downswell? Interesting. Rudolph Speed will tell you from now till thine kingdom come that he doesn't have a conflict of interest, which we all know is absolute rubbish and absolute nonsense. The fact of the matter is there is a conflict of interest with Rudolph Speed's post as chairman of the technical committee, right? And he will make the argument that it is not an actual conflict, but at the very least there is the appearance of a conflict of interest, and it must be eradicated from Jamaica's football. This conflict of interest nonsense that seems to be rampant throughout Jamaica's football. The article goes on to read, Ricketts had previously said that he's looking forward to these reforms, and Grant says that he expects overwhelming support for this change. If FIFA make them know so them have to go about it, then I can't see how it would. I wonder what could be what problems could arise, and that's an interesting question. Suppose they vote it down, right? Suppose the respective stakeholders vote it down, right? Because that statement appears to me that This will have to be and common sense tells that, says that more than likely constitutional changes have to be voted on for sure, right? And if they don't decide to back it, what could that mean for Jamaica's football? That's an interesting observation. From our discussions that we have been having over the last 6 months, I'm pretty confident that the full support is there. We recognize that there is a need for change. Really, you recognize that on your own. Interesting. It is time you weren't pushed in the right direction. It is the same parish associations and members who would have changed the constitution in 2015 from where it was to where it is now. The membership of the board that made those changes in 2015 is the same apart from maybe 2 members. So the process of change is nothing new to them, and I expect that there will be no difference, and the full support of the membership will be on board to change it to the new structure Grant told the Observer. My whole thing is that if it is the same parish associations and most of the board that would have implemented the current system, they did it for a reason. They did it for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. And that is to, bring more power onto themselves, or to accumulate more power onto themselves. I mean, if it is a case that FIFA has strict penalties for not going about doing this, then more than likely they will, agree from the standpoint of the obvious. I mean, I would think they would want to destroy Jamaica's football for their own selfish desires. But again, if Mike Ricketts goes on, whether mainstream television or new media, and try to pass this off as his initiative and try to put this as a feather in his cap to say, to brag about that we have done this, right? I think would be very disingenuous of him, because I think it's fair to say that FIFA, if it wasn't for FIFA persuading them, then this would not have come about. All in all, though, it's still a good look for Jamaica's football. This will definitely revolutionize Jamaica's football, no doubt about it whatsoever. This will have a massive impact on Jamaica's football. It will lessen the stranglehold on power that any particular individuals can have. From what I'm understanding, there's also from what I hear, is that there might be a case where there are term limits being implemented as well, right? So, when we have people that are not performing like a Mike Ricketts, these plans of foot will definitely serve to make it easier to get rid of them. See? All right. So up next, we changing focus now, and we're talking about reggae boy Leon Bailey, right? Now, thanks to Eddie Guna, we have learned that, and I'm really grateful that he brought this to my attention, because I did not realize that Lucas Ocampos, who was their second choice to replace Anthony at Ajax, Lucas Ocampos is now set for a 20 million euro move to set to leave Sevilla for 20 million euros. Right, all right, let me bring up the article and hold on. Let me bring up the article and read it. This is the first I'm seeing this though, by the way. This is the first I am seeing this, because this has implications on whether Bailey goes or Bailey stays at Aston Villa FC. Before I go into this, I will say that I think that the Bailey move to Ajax, if it did and does materialize, which the move for a compass isn't done yet, so we have to bear that in mind. It isn't done yet, right? A number of times we have seen transfers go right up to the line and it doesn't materialize. I remember Dimitar Berbatov had Fulham fans and the Fulham hierarchy waiting at the airport in London for his arrival, and it never materialized. Was it Fulham? No, lie. Foolishness, me attack. Fiorentina. May I mix up the clubs? Fiorentina, if I'm not mistaken. Fiorentina, all those years ago. The move was basically done for Dimitar to go to Fiorentina. If remember, so right, it was Fiorentina. Everybody was at the airport, fans and club officials alike, waiting for the arrival of the player, and he never turned up. Remember, so right, he went to Fulham instead. So, even though there are headlines saying that this deal is looking, that he's set to leave, it might not happen. Now, for those of you who don't know, Anthony has made a move from Ajax to Manchester United. Big money. Seen? And basically, Ajax have a lot of money and want a replacement. And with that being said, one of the initial replacement they wanted was Ziyech, the Chelsea winger. Now, Ziyech, Chelsea was apparently asking too much money for Ziyech. So they switched focus to Ocampos and Leon Bailey. Now, first Ocampos, then Leon Bailey. I personally, initially when I heard about this and Leon Bailey came out and was, well, we can get to that, but basically coming out of Leon Bailey's camp is that he was flattered by the interest from Ajax, and apparently coming out of his camp is that they would not have had an issue getting a move away from Aston Villa to Ajax. Initially, when I heard this, I said to myself, dear God, this is a downgrade. See, this is not a good thing. And, you know, an even more frustrating chapter in the career of Leon Bailey. But then I started to give it some thought and I said to myself, honestly, I wouldn't be too perturbed by this particular move. If Bailey was indeed, let's say this Ocampos deal for whatever reason falls through, right? And they turn their attention to Bailey and that move happens. I wouldn't have an issue with Bailey making a move to Ajax when I think hard about it. On the surface, it seems like a downgrade, but the way I see this is that it could potentially be a step backwards to be a step forward. It could potentially be one step backward that could lead to two steps forward. Right? And I will explain that, right? Ajax, for starters, if Bailey goes to the Eredivisie, he would absolutely destroy it. Bailey has never played for a top team in a league. In terms of, he has never played for a team that is the top team in the league. Ajax, for the most part, dominates the Eredivisie, right? I think for forwards, especially a forward like Leon Bailey, it is always better for them or it is better for quality forwards when they are playing on a top team in the league that they're playing, right? It usually means that the amount of service and the quality of the service is better, right? Is of a better quality. So they get more service of a higher standard when they're playing for a top team or one of the top teams in their respective league. Now, Aston Villa is not one of the top teams in the Premier League. As a matter of fact, they're struggling. Performances that I've seen with them, boy oh boy, they look very dreadful. Seeing now, if he was to make a move to Ajax, Ajax for the most part dominates the Eredivisie. Think about Leon Bailey at Ajax. Think about the damage he would do. Think about how good he was in a top 5 league in Europe. Think about how good he was in a top 5 league in Europe. Think about what he could do. And by the way, think about what he did in a top 5 league in Europe for a team that at best was in a dogfight for a Champions League spot. Bayer Leverkusen at best was a team that was fighting for a Champions League spot, right? And sometimes they didn't get it, sometimes they did. Think about what he could do in a lesser league than the Bundesliga for a team, playing for a team that dominates the league. He would absolutely destroy the Eredivisie. 1, 2, he would basically be guaranteed silverware, right? In his time at Ajax, he would basically be guaranteed the Dutch Eredivisie and would stand a massive chance at winning the Dutch Cup. That's trophies or silverware in his cabinet, right? That is European, that is added European prestige to, play an integral role in winning a European First Division league, especially a league, a credible, reputable, and well-respected league as the Eredivisie. Right? It would be a feather in his cap. Leon has not won any European title silverware to date. Right? And not only will he win the Eredivisie more than likely 9 times out of 10, but he would more than likely be the star man if one was a betting man. Also, he will be guaranteed Champions League football. And I think that is a big deal and could be big feathers in his cap, right? To represent a club of Ajax's standing. This is a club that has a lot of footballing pedigree, right? And his status in world football would skyrocket. It would go through the roof if he was to rep and star for an Ajax, both in the Eredivisie and the Champions League. One of the main reasons also why I say that it would be a step backwards and 2 steps forward is because big clubs always buy players from Ajax. Take a look at the transfers that they have made out of Amsterdam. Think about it. And I'm going to show that graphic in a second. But when you look at it, they have made transfers to clubs like Manchester United, Juventus, just some big clubs, Dortmund. A lot of the sales that they have made in the transfer window, this window, have been to big clubs. If Leon Bailey goes to Ajax and stars for Ajax, more than likely he will get a big move to a big football club, because big football clubs, Ajax for the most part always sells their top players to big football clubs. It's the pedigree of a Ajax and the reputation that Ajax players has always gets them moves to big football clubs. Compare and contrast. Juxtapose that with if he stays at Villa, right? Steven Gerrard is still the coach. We don't know whether Steven Gerrard will be fired or whether he will stay, right? Steven Gerrard is just literally throwing anything against the wall and seeing what sticks. He's all over the place, right? Constantly changing formation, constantly changing personnel, etc., etc. Seeing now, if he stays or if he goes, Leon's future with Villa, he has, I wouldn't say falling out of favor, but because Gerrard is constantly switching up things, we don't know where he's standing at Villa lies in terms of Leon Bailey. And who knows, Gerrard could stay on for some time, he could turn things around, get results, right? And continue with this particular system that does not include wingers and Bailey is frozen out, right? Added to the fact that the Premier League is so tough and the Premier League is so competitive that it is, in my humble estimation, it is very difficult for forward players to get a lot of glory at a club like Aston Villa, right? So Leon Bailey, like, because it doesn't really matter how well he plays, ladies and gentlemen. He can play well from now till thine kingdom come. If it's one of the major things for forwards to get moves, especially get moves to big football clubs, is high statistics. One of the main indicators of a good forward is his stats. It is difficult for a forward player at a club like Aston Villa to have high stats. So it doesn't matter how well he plays. Getting those statistics very high is going to high enough to get a big move to a big club is going to be, in my humble opinion, more difficult for Leon Bailey if he stays at Aston Villa than if he goes to Ajax. Right? So from those respective standpoints, if he could get a move to Ajax, I think that would be a good thing. Let us see what is taking place here with Lucas Ocampos, because this is a very important piece in the puzzle. Lucas Ocampos set to leave Sevilla for 20 million euros in surprise move. Sevilla are set to cross the 100 million euro barrier in sales this summer as Argentine winger Lucas Ocampos leaves La Liga. According to Fabrizio Romano, a deal is done. Fabrizio Romano is a credible. Although, everybody gets it wrong from time to time. A deal is done to take Ocampos to Ajax in the dying embers of the transfer for 20 million euros. Following the exit of Anthony to Manchester United, the Dutch champions are keen to replace the Brazilian. It represents a good chance for Sevilla to cash in on a player who has struggled to hit the same heights he initially did when joining the club. Key in their Europa League triumph after arriving in 2019, the last two seasons have been a gradual decline in his performance. They go on to speak about his stats. It's rumored that former Real Sociedad winger Adnan Januzaj could replace Ocampos. Interesting. What if Leon Bailey could have replaced an Ocampos at Sevilla? Anyways, so let's see what happens with Lucas Ocampos if this deal does get over the line, right? But for me personally, I would have liked for Leon Bailey to get a move. It made sense. It made sense. Initially, I didn't understand it, but after a while, when I thought about it, I started to understand why even Craig Butler seemed to have been a little bit excited by this potential or these particular rumors linking him to Ajax. Let me show you guys something quick and fast. Look on the screen. Look on the screen. Look, can I zoom it up a little bit more? Hold on. Let me remove the barrier. I just want to read your comments, guys. I just want to read your comments. The barrier not really makes. Anyways. Let me see if I can zoom this up a little bit. No, wrong thing there. Wrong thing there. Too high. Alright. Oh, where it gone, man? Where is it gone? Wait, what just happened? Hold on. I'm trying to show you guys something, but I don't know what is taking place. Hold on. I'm gonna stop sharing the screen a little bit. Oh, it seems as though I clicked on something by accident. Alright. Okay. I think I clicked on something by accident. I'm gonna share it again. I want you guys to see something. Look at that on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. You see the top departures? Look at the top departures. That is what I really want you guys to see. Seeing? Top departures. Anthony to Manchester United, 95 million euros. Lisandro Martinez to Manchester United, 57 million euros. Seeing? Ryan Gravenberch, 80 million euro departure to Bayern Munich. Sebastian Haller, 31 million euro departure to Borussia Dortmund. Can't pronounce the name there, but he made a move to Bayern Munich. See? Now these are the departures for Ajax. You see the clubs there? That's really what I want you guys to focus on. You see the clubs? Manchester United, Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, Bayern Munich, right? These are top football clubs. These are top football clubs. These are top football clubs. The likelihood of Leon Bailey getting a move to a big football club, a move that I think his talent deserves, he stands a better chance, in my humble opinion, of getting that move from Ajax versus getting that move at Aston Villa. Because once he goes to Ajax and stars for Ajax, he will get, it is basically set in stone that he will get a big move, transfer move to a big football club, because most players who star for Ajax get moves to big football clubs. And it would be easier for Leon Bailey to star at Ajax than it would be for him to do so at Aston Villa, because, as I said, for forwards, it is harder for them to star for teams, or for them to get those goal contributions and those stats very high, which is a major component for players to get transfer moves to big clubs. It's hard for them to do that in one of the worst teams in the league, right? If Bailey did what he did in the Bundesliga, think of what he would, for a team that was scraping for Champions League football for a top 4 finish in the Bundesliga. Think of what he could do in the Eredivisie. He would destroy it. he would destroy the Eredivisie, especially if he's playing for Ajax. And when him got Ajax and have that 20 goal season for Ajax, a big football club will definitely come calling. Think about this, ladies and gentlemen. This is the prestige of Ajax, right? Anthony, if I'm not mistaken, Anthony scored 9 goals this season in the Eredivisie for Ajax, right? And if I'm also not mistaken, Anthony has not passed 10 goals. No lie, he scored 8 goals. To be fair, 8 goals in 23 appearances. So he didn't play the entire season. 8 goals in 23 appearances, which is still high. A higher ratio of goals to game. And in the season before that, he scored 9 goals in 32 appearances. Now, we all know the link between the current Man United boss, Ten Hag, and Anthony, right? But these are the sort of moves that Ajax normally pulls off, right? Leon Bailey scored in his last season in the Bundesliga, a much tougher league than the Eredivisie. Leon Bailey scored 9 goals and 8 assists. But yet still, he didn't get a move to a big football club. Anthony has not hit double figures in the Eredivisie, a much lesser league, a much weaker league. But Anthony got his big move. The pedigree and the reputation of Ajax and its reputation for producing or having top footballers play for them is basically a guaranteed sale to a big club. Let me look at all the departures. Hold on, let me look at all the departures. Let me look at all the departures for Ajax. Oh hell, what is taking place with transfer market? I understand how transfer market again. Transfer market has been giving problems in recent times, you know. Alright, see it here now. I think it's so. Transfer market nearly failed me a while ago. Alright. Look at this list, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this list. Hold on, maybe this one I have to put it out more for you guys to see the entire list. Look at this list. I don't know if you guys are seeing it on your screen. Let me see. You guys probably too small for the screen. Alright. Look at this. Anthony to Manchester United. Alessandro Martinez to Manchester United. Sebastian Haller to Borussia Dortmund. Gravenberch to Bayern Munich. Right? Skurs to Torino. Alright, that's the only non-quote-unquote big prestigious club that has been called so far. Let me only call the players that have made moves to big prestigious club. So we see 2 moves to Manchester United here, 1 to Dortmund, 1 to Bayern Munich. Tagliafico to Olympique Lyon. Right? Annuvar to Trabzonspor, which is right now, if I'm not mistaken, one of the biggest clubs in Turkey. Right? Can't pronounce the name of this brother, but he has made a move to Bayern Munich. Right? Onana made a move to Inter Milan. Danilo made a move to Feyenoord. Right? And Darami made a move to FC Copenhagen. Ihateran makes a move to Juventus. Right? So we see Manchester United, Borussia Borussia Dortmund, Bayern Munich, Olympic Lyon, Bayern Munich, Juventus, Inter Milan. Most of the players that have departed Ajax this season has gone to big clubs. That's what I am saying. Most of the players who have departed Ajax has gone to big football clubs. Big up Waynesfire. If Leon Bailey, right, I mean, it doesn't look like if this a compass deal gets over the line, then more than likely Leon will not make the move. That will probably kill the move. Big up Waynesfire. But if Leon Bailey could get a move to Ajax, he could become the next Sebastian Haller, who was struggling in the Prem, went to Ajax, tore up Ajax and tore up the Eredivisie. And look at where Haller is at right now. Borussia Dortmund, the second biggest club in Germany. Leon Bailey could be the next Haller, and that is entirely realistic. Because if he were to go to Ajax, he would undoubtedly destroy the Eredivisie for the top team in the Eredivisie. He will more than likely win the Eredivisie, right? He will at least get 6 games in the Champions League. The strut is tough in Champions League football, and big clubs always buy. The biggest clubs in the top 5 leagues in Europe always buy or always go for the top players at Ajax Amsterdam. So as I said earlier, I think that this could very well be a move that is a step backward to make 2 steps forward. So you could make a step backward from the English Premier League to the Eredivisie, but once he goes there, has a big season, stars it up, makes a big transfer to one of the top clubs in a top 5 league in Europe. I know that at this point in time in Leon Bailey's career, this is not what we envisioned for the player, right? We thought that by now he'd be at a big club in a top 5 league in Europe and not jumping up and down about the possibility of making a move to Ajax in the Eredivisie. But it is what it is. You know, I think the move to Aston Villa was not a good one. I said it then. I started coming around a little bit when I saw some of the players and some of the ambition that the club was showing with some of the players that they started to bring in, like a Coutinho, like the boy from Sevilla. What's his name again, man? Carlos, the centre-back. Right, the CDM from Marseille as well. Right? Danny Ings, while I didn't think it was the best use of 30-odd million pounds, it was a decent signing of intent of a player that had a decent goal scoring record in the Prem. I guess that's one of the reasons why they went for him. So I started coming around a little bit, but I still think rather than go to one of the worst teams in the English Premier League, he should have stayed at, a team that was competing at the higher end of the table in a top 5 league in Europe. This is an interesting conversation doing a Spade XG, because is it Gerrard or is it the players? Is it Gerrard or is it the players? Because boy, I don't know, I'm not really entirely convinced about some of the players doing. Even though Aston Villa would have shown signs of intent, very good signs of intent by bringing in some decent players. I'm not so sure about the likes of Emi Buendia. I'm not so sure about the likes of Danny Ings. I think Danny Ings, 1, he's up in age, and 2, he's not the most dynamic centre forward you can find, and I'm not a fan of non-dynamic centre forwards. Buendia is a very frustrating player. A promising attack will be building up, and then Buendia makes a poor pass and the attack just breaks down. Time and time I've seen that again with him. Philip Coutinho, not the most dynamic midfielder either. Seeing a midfielder with class and with quality, but you have to utilize him a certain way to get certain quality from him, right? And he's a player that I'm not so necessarily sure if he's a great fit at Aston Villa. I don't know. I don't know. Red Crossing said he needs to stop holding the ball so long. He needs to switch to the left. He's not effective because everyone knows he's trying to cut in to cut the ball back on his left foot. But everybody knew that at Bayer Leverkusen, and he still did well. I mean, you could argue that the quality of defenders he's facing is better in the Premier League. But I honestly think that if you were a bigger club in the English Premier League, he would get better quality service in better, more advanced areas of the pitch on a far more consistent basis. So I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that Villa ain't really doing well, and then obviously the new Gerrard throwing up anything against the wall to see what sticks, and the change in system, so to speak. Because Gerrard's main system, and the one that he utilized at Rangers, was one that, in my humble opinion, could get the best out of Leon Bailey. I don't know what's taking place with the music, but obviously the system that is currently being implemented right now is one that doesn't even see Bailey starting. I think that Gerrard has his ideal system. I think Gerrard has his ideal system, but to enforce that on the Premier League with a team like Aston Villa has proven to be problematic, and because of that, he's kind of all over the place right now, trying to see what works and what doesn't. My issue with Buendia is that he's a bit too emotional. Okay. Rob Smith, it was an excellent goal. Saw it on Duncan IG page. Yeah, man, it was a very good goal, man. Very, very good goal. Gerrard is stubborn. He doesn't like playing with wide attackers, and it's not working in the Prem. Yeah. But again, I think that Leon Bailey playing for the best team, the most dominant team in the Eredivisie, would have been a big deal for Leon. I think it would have been the jump start that his career needed en route to a big club in a top 5 league in Europe. Especially, I just went through the departures from Ajax this transfer window, and a pure big clubs: United, Dortmund, Bayern Munich, Juventus, Lyon, Inter Milan, the top clubs in top 5 leagues in Europe. And if he went to Ajax and starred, I think he would definitely have been on his way to one of the big clubs in a top 5 league in Europe. Yeah, so as I said, I personally deem the move, if he could get it, to be one step backwards to make 2 steps forward. See, it would be interesting in all of this transfer speculation to see if Leon Bailey would start in the game versus Arsenal, and with 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 Leon's agent kicking up a storm, it would be interesting to see if Leon starts against Arsenal. That would mean a change in system. You know, one of the things I think could work as well, I don't think you would have to change the system for to get something out of Bailey, you know. I think you could play Leon as a in the front two, you know. What do you guys think about this? I think he could play him as the right forward, you know, in that front two, you know, and have him sort of like as a roaming forward, you know, that creative forward. You know, I think Bailey could do some damage in that particular area of the pitch, you know, dropping into the pocket, you know, dropping into the half spaces, getting the ball, making things happen. I mean, that's where Bailey's at his most dangerous, anyways, when he's cutting in from off the right wing channel into the half space, when he's moving into the half spaces. So that's also something that could be considered as well. By the way, if Bailey were to move to Ajax and does well in the Champions League as well, that would definitely get him a big move as well. So as I said, I think Leon Bailey, if he were to get the move to Ajax, would be the next Sebastian Haller. Average in the Prem, went to the Eredivisie, started up the Eredivisie, and got a big move to a big football club. Seeing not the ideal circumstance, not the route we envisioned for Bailey to get to a big club in a top 5 league in Europe. But hey, you know, if that's the best route right now, I wouldn't mind him going to Ajax, to be honest with you. If he goes to Ajax, once he stays fit, he will destroy the Eredivisie and he will get a big move. So yeah, man, excellent goal. Yeah, man, big goal, man. He's getting lost in the shuffle because they have a lot similar players. Ramsey is getting Bailey's minutes. I don't think Bailey is going anywhere because Gerrard genuinely likes him. As it regards to being a second nine, I've I've been saying that, and I agree. I agree. Spade XG. I would love to see Bailey put in that front two to see what he could do. Right? I would love to see Bailey put in that front two to see what he could do. And I think not only would it be best for Leon Bailey, given the change in system, I also think that it could be best for Aston Villa as well. I think the team would be more free flowing. I think the team would be more free flowing, man, honestly. Formula, I think Gerrard believes that Bailey is an excellent finisher than a starter. To be frank, in the EPL, he finished better to me as well. Okay, okay. All right, so, you know, that's basically it. You know, that's what I wanted to talk about in this particular live. I don't know if you guys have any more thoughts that you guys want to share with me in the comment section, but that's basically it. You know, we spoke about, you know, the reform being implemented by the JFF. We gave a not so quick roundup of what Reggae Boyz have done today and will be doing later on in the week, and Reggae Boyz featuring tomorrow. And we spoke about Leon Bailey and how much making a move to Ajax could benefit the player, right? And basically, Ajax's illustrious resume of selling players to big clubs for whatever reason, the pedigree of Ajax, you know, the reputation of their the technical abilities of their players. And that's something as well we can touch on. If he moves to Ajax, could his technical ability as good at it as it is already even improve because of Ajax's reputation for developing very excellent, pristine technical players? So all of that is things that we can think about as well. So guys, I think that's basically it. We have gone 1 hour and 51 minutes in this particular live. It was a good live. Thinking about doing more of these. I've always been thinking about doing more than lives, but I've had my challenges when it comes to lives. Challenges that are a little bit difficult to navigate. So that's part of the reason why I haven't done more lives. But hey, I'll risk it and try and see if I can do more lives going forward. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's my 2 cents. Take care. Stay safe. Smash the like button on your way out. Free and easy ways to support the channel. Take care. Stay safe. And until next time.